with a broken thumb on his throwing hand, which to me sounds like a big deal, but I don't know. The injury happened on the final play of the Packers' loss to the Giants on October 9th in London. When asked why he didn't confirm the thumb was broken until now, Rodgers said this.
It didn't make a difference.
It doesn't?
It doesn't make a difference with me playing, you know. That doesn't make a difference. You saw the tape on my thumb, didn't make a difference. It's about the same every week. It didn't really get any better. It didn't get significantly worse. You know, just dealing with the occasional kind of dull pain and working through it.
I mean, look, if eye rolls were audible, you wouldn't have been able to hear Aaron over Bart Scott during that clip. What do you think? Does this change the way you feel about Rodgers and the Packers?
It doesn't, because those receivers still drop balls, and I know some of his passes was inaccurate, but it doesn't change the fact that the Packers are in a tough position, because do you cash in your biggest chip and hope that somebody will take that salary cap space, or does he come back next year and you still don't know what type of team you have? Like, when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you hope to win a championship. And now you're going to go and Jordan Love is going to be in year 4, and you have no idea whether this kid can play football or not. Just imagine this guy is going to be evaluated based on 1 year, you know, to try and prove that he's a franchise quarterback. But he has the experience of a first-year quarterback, and he's going to make those mistakes. And nobody's going to be patient between those mistakes because he's so young, you know, because he's an old player. So, I mean, they're in a tough position. I think you cash in the Aaron Rodgers chip, send him on a place where you can start the foundation of your team, much like Seattle did with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, well, except the Seattle did that before. Instead of signing Russell Wilson, Green Bay already signed Rodgers, so the contract complicates things. But D. Wood, we've been talking all week about, you know, should they think about sitting Rodgers down if the season is lost and seeing what Jordan Love has in case they need him in the future. I'm looking at it, I'm saying if the guy's got a broken thumb, I can sit him down and say he's hurt and see Jordan Love. You think that's something the Packers should consider?
You know, that's a perfect out right there, Graz. I mean, the fact that he comes out and say he has a broken thumb. Okay, well, if you're the Green Bay Packers, the season's basically lost anyway. The Packers will have to pull off a miracle to try to get a wild card spot in this situation, and I doubt that's going to happen with the way their team is playing. So if you're the Green Bay Packers, just give you the perfect opportunity to put Jordan Love in at some point. You know, if they lose another game or two, put Jordan Love in and get some type of evaluation on this guy in meaningful games down the stretch in the regular season. Like Bart said, this guy's been on your roster, 3 years, whatever it's been, and you have no meaningful evaluation if Jordan Love is ever going to be the future of the Green Bay Packers. At some point, he needs to play, and if it, you know, with the broken thumb with Aaron Rodgers and with the Packers are where they are, this would be the perfect opportunity to put him in.
That's the thing. Jordan Love is a first-round pick. Like, they have a 5th-year option on him. They have to decide about next May. How could they possibly have enough information? Rob, what do you think about all this Packers quarterback mess?
Well, first and foremost, I can't stand it when somebody has some type of injury, and then when things aren't looking so good, then the injury comes out. And you see it all the time. You'll see a guy have a down year. They'll have a down year the whole season. You're like, what's wrong with him? And then after the season, they said, oh, well, he was dealing with a shoulder. He was dealing with a knee. He was dealing with an ankle. And that's the excuse. I can't stand that. I hate it. There's no point in talking about the thumb. He's already played 2 weeks ago, a week ago, when he threw a deep bomb, and everyone was just like, oh, the Green Bay Packers, they're coming back. Now the season's back on track. The rookie receivers are starting to get it. No, there's more issues here than just the thumb. There's the offensive line, the defense, the young receivers, the inconsistencies. Like, all those things combined are why this team is not good. It's not the thumb. Stop talking about the thumb. Like, just the injuries are part of football. Everybody who's playing right now in this time, Thanksgiving time, is hurt or injured or dealing with something. And don't talk to me about a broken thumb. Aaron Rodgers is going to be there next year, by the way.
In his defense, he has made that point. Like the thumb, I played well with the thumb. I don't know, maybe I think he let it slip on McAfee, and then they were following up about it yesterday. I think that's the chronology here. Anyway, listen, you said, Rob Ninkovich, you think he's back in Green Bay next year? That's your prediction? So it could be back in Green Bay making. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think he's back next year. I do. I think that because of the contract and the guaranteed money and the way that the whole thing's set up, it might be hard to move him. And I just think poor Jordan Love, yeah, that's right. I think he's back because he has the control. The control is in Aaron Rodgers' hands.
And Bart, you said you think they should trade him. D-Wood, real quick, should they trade him? Should he come back? Should he retire? What do you expect to happen?
I think Aaron Rodgers has the leverage. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to determine whether he stays or goes, and I think he's going to be back in Green Bay.
We will find out. Things don't get any easier for the Packers. They got to go to Philadelphia and play the Eagles this Sunday night. Meanwhile, DraftKings Sportsbook predictions brought to you by DraftKings. Our question today, which running back will have more combined rushing and receiving yards today, Saquon Barkley or Tony Pollard? So, Bart, let's pose the DraftKings question to you. Which of those two running backs in today's Giants-Cowboys game will have more yards from scrimmage?
I think Tony Pollard's going to have more yards from scrimmage. I think Saquon's going to have to be used as a decoy, maybe even throwing the football as well, as they're going to put 9 men in the box. You got to be a little bit more honest if you're the Giants. So I think that's going to free up Tony Pollard to continue this early success that he's had in this season.
All right, let's stick with this rushing theme. D. Wood, who will have more rushing touchdowns today in the Lions-Bills game, Jamal Williams or Josh Allen?
Yeah, I'm going Jamal Williams. I mean, he leads the league in rushing touchdowns. And, one of his fortes with the Detroit Lions on offense is with goal-to-goal situations, that's his thing. So we know Josh Allen's a hell of a runner, but I'm going with Jamal Williams.
It'll be a fun shootout there in Detroit to open the day. Ninko, who has more passing yards tonight, Kirk Cousins or Mac Jones?
I'm going with Kirk Cousins. If you just look statistically, Kirk Cousins has 2,400 yards passing, and Mac Jones has 1,300. So Kirk Cousins has over 1,100 yards on him for the season. So I just think when you look at the players that the Vikings have, the receiving core, you saw the crazy catch against Buffalo. Kirk Cousins is going to have more of an opportunity to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, and the Patriots like to run it anyway. Look, the Patriots have won 3 in a row and 4 out of 5 after they started the season 1-3. But their 6 wins have come against, Zach Wilson, Mitchell Trubisky, Jacoby Brissett. I mean, not exactly the all-pro team there at quarterback. So I guess we're left to wonder. They're 6-4, right? They're playing tonight against the Vikings. Are we buying the Patriots as a legitimate playoff contender? I'm going to start with Bart because I think I know your answer. Are we buying the Patriots as legit here?
I don't think so. Listen, Bill has used every Jedi mind trick he can to squeeze all the juice out of this lemon. But I think eventually they just don't have enough offensively. This defense is playing at a historical level, but they can't compete with a team that has balance and a quarterback that can defend himself. You saw that list. I think Kirk Cousins falls on the right side of that list, and I think the Patriots are going to enjoy, a spot in the playoffs for this week and this week only as the Jets move back up as they beat Chicago and then the Patriots lose this week.
All right, well, let me get the thoughts then of a couple of former Patriots we have here on the show today. D. Wood, are you buying into the Patriots as a legitimate playoff contender?
It's hard. No. I just, listen, I think that they don't have enough offensively. Anyone who watched the Jets-Patriots game, oh, by the way, you probably wasted like three years off your life watching that game last week. But the Patriots, the Patriots didn't do anything offensively. Like the Patriots, their offensive line is horrible. Mac Jones is not playing well at all. Defensively, they're very good. There's no question. But you got to score in this league, and that's the one thing the Patriots do not do a lot of is scoring a lot of points. They're just not good enough offensively to be one of these teams that we think is one of the upper echelon teams in the AFC.
Rob Ninkovich, surely you believe in your beloved New England Patriots as a legitimate playoff contender. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
A legitimate or like by default playoff contender? So there's a difference between other teams losing and you are actually in the playoffs versus you're beating good teams and you're supposed to be in the playoffs. We've seen guys and teams, we've seen guys that shouldn't be in the playoffs, but we've seen teams that end up in the playoffs because they're there by default. So the Patriots, what do they have going for them? Number 1, Bill Belichick, your head coach. Okay, number 2, best defense in the NFL. They're really good at stopping terrible offenses. Okay, great. So 3, they have a great kicker. That's their MVP. I think Folk is their MVP. So offensively, they have to do better. They have to score points in the red zone. They can't do that. In the playoffs, they'll run through a buzzsaw and they'll play a team that can score points if they make the playoffs. So am I buying they're a playoff contending team? No. Are they a playoff team because other teams might put them in the playoffs? Sure.
That's a fantastic endorsement. Listen, let's mark Get Up down as skeptical of the Patriots' chances. But how about tonight? How about specifically tonight? Let's see the pick.